How you doing, everybody? Welcome back to Late Night APUSH. I'm your host, Benjamin Franklin, and we're going to get right into it. Alright, tonight we have a special guest, Mr. Abe Lincoln. First question, everyone. Are you Abe Lincoln?
Yeah.
Yeah. What was the hardest part for you supporting the abolitionist movement?
Well, the main problem with supporting the abolitionist cause was the opposition that I faced in return.
So you would say you faced much opposition in your career. I have no shoes.
Yes, actually, I faced a great deal of opposition, both from the north and the south, but mainly from the south, more so than the north. But northern opposition did come my way, mainly from copperheads in the states of Illinois, Indiana, and Ohio. But whatever opposition from the north, it was very little and nothing compared to the south, as one can assume.
Nice. Okay, so most of that opposition was based on your position on slavery and that issue. So, did you actually ever own slaves?
No, actually, I did not own slaves. That's mainly due to the fact that I lived in the free state of Illinois, and so my parents never owned slaves, and my church was actually anti-slavery, so that, yeah, no, I never had slaves.
Now you mentioned human rights. What do you think the slaves' rights entailed?
I believe that the coloreds should have as many rights as the whites have.
Okay, now while we're on the topic of people's rights, what do you think women's rights should be? And here I have my first word book.
I believe that all people were created equal, including women, women of color, white women, any women. They're all the same as white men, and should get the same rights.
Alright, next question. We most associate you with the Civil War, as the start of your presidency and the end of your presidency corresponded to the beginning and end of the Civil War. Do you think the Civil War was necessary?
Yes, I do actually think the Civil War was necessary in order to end the slavery in the United States. This war had to happen. It had to happen.
Okay, here's another question. Why did you think it was necessary to keep the bordering slave states, Missouri, Kentucky, Delaware, and Maryland, as part of the Union?
Well, it was in my belief that in gaining this land, the South would also gain the industry that the North had, the much needed industry that would give the South an advantage, as well as keeping these bordering states would not to mention the geographic advantage that the South would gain with gaining more northern land in the process.
So it's clear that your efforts were successful. What do you think was the main reason why the North prevailed in the Civil War? Spin globe.
Spinny, spin, spin.
Well, the main reason the North won was superior leadership under my control.
Yeah. So the couple of the main reasons why the North had the advantage over the South throughout the entire war was leadership and population, as well as a established navy, something that the South did not have at all. And then throughout the North, the expansive railroads made transportation of soldiers and arms a lot easier and faster. And that's why the North won.
Actually have to scratch my back. Alright, so you've stated the northern advantages in the Civil War. What about the southern advantages?
The South definitely had some advantages. Most notably their outstanding military officers and their knowingness of the land that around them. They were also more motivated to fight, and they were fighting a defensive war as opposed to the North.
So why did you want to become president?
Well, growing up, I had gotten into politics, and soon after, I saw the state of this country, and saw it as my own personal duty to fight for the abolition of slavery, as well as fight for the keeping together of the Union.
The Union of the Union? Alright, now another question. What's with that beard?
It's a pretty good story, actually. I am the first president to keep a beard while in office, and I consider that one of my greatest accomplishments in life.
Alright, now for the burning question. What's with that hat?
Okay, so it's a funny story actually. So when I was a young man, these hats were going increasingly popular, right? And so I just I just picked up on the style, and so eventually when I became a lawyer, I would actually I would keep my papers in my hat, right? So that both my hands were free when I walked around. So like my papers were.
Ouch. That's all the time we have for today. I'll see you guys later, here, on Late Night APUSH.
That was a loud one.
It was. What was Lincoln thinking?